Alright, welcome back to the chaos. Today, we're going to build ourselves a taxidermy habitat on an old fence post and a Euro mount. We're going to turn this fence post into this. So stick around, because you're going to learn something today. Stay tuned to the end to see the end result from the beginning. Dollar store items. There was some snow brush that I used and some other brush that kind of looked like ice that I used. I bought some other stuff. I bought some moss that we also use, and I bought some other stuff because I wasn't sure if I was going to use it. Total at the dollar store, Dollar General was $9. A 3/8 threaded rod, and I cut it into pieces about 2 to 3 inches long, and I got 3/8 ceiling plates. Plaster of Paris, got it at the craft store. It's going to make your habitat. It's going to make the structure of your habitat. But behold, plaster of Paris has about a 15-minute working time. So when you mix that water in with it, you better be ready to go, because it's ready to go. And if you're not ready to go, it's going to dry on your fingers. You'll see on my hands, and it dries real quick. So you want to make sure you're pre-planned on how you want your habitat to look, because that plaster of Paris, that ain't no joke. It comes up quick on you. But it's easy to wash off, though. It's a little bit of water and it comes right off.
You need an old fence post. Perfect circle. There we go. We got a nice circle.
Yep. That's right. You saw what you saw. That's a bait bucket lid. Because that's all I could find with that kind of size. It was a perfect circle. And hey, you know what? It worked. You got anything laying around the house that's a perfect circle? Use it. Trace it. That's what I did.
This with this.
Alright, I had an angle grinder, and that's what I cut my threaded rod with. Don't do that. I suggest don't do that. It's very dangerous. You have like a chop saw with a metal blade. There's other ways to cut threaded rod. Angle grinder, very dangerous. I suggest not doing that. What I suggest to do once you get the threaded rods cut, I took on my disc sander. I turned them on a little bit of an angle so I could bevel the edge with the sander, and it made the threads like perfect. They screw right in perfectly. That's a good idea. Those are key, because your 3/8 threaded rod is going to go into those ceiling plates. One's going to get screwed to the back of your mount, and one's going to get screwed to the wall. Very important pieces.
Okay, remember, give yourself enough time for your habitat, because you got about 10 minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes before this stuff starts to harden on you. You want to get this stuff so it's like a peanut butter consistency. I really didn't make any measurements here. I just kind of put water in until it mixed it and kept adding powder until I got that peanut butter consistency. Then it's basically just like icing a cake. You just keep putting it on and keep putting it on until you get the look that you really like. You know, that's basically about it. And I took my snow here, my little snow brush branches, whatever you want to call them, and the one little piece that kind of looks like glittery ice, and I stuck them down in the plaster of Paris, and I put some more plaster of Paris around the bottom to kind of hold them in place. And then I used a couple of zip ties to hold them up to the post so they wouldn't fall over. So when the plaster of Paris dried, they would dry perfectly kind of where I wanted them. And then I just kept adding plaster of Paris, you know, until I got that look that I was kind of, you know, looking for, like, you know, the dirt or, you know, like the ground around the post. See, and that's not a bad look. And then I added a few rocks to it. After we did that, we added a couple more rocks to it.
As you can see, my hands are getting caked up. You can see that the plaster of Paris is starting to dry, and it's drying on my fingers, and I got marshmallow fingers.
And that's how it's going to work habitat as of the moment. The tool.
Okay, so this screw that I used is for sheetrock, for hanging stuff on sheetrock. You can see this, it's 1/4 inch by 4 inch. Okay, so what this is 1/4 inch by 4 inch. These things, once you drill the hole in the sheetrock, this actually will go down like this, and it goes inside the sheetrock. And when it gets behind the sheetrock, it opens up like that, and then you screw this in, whatever you're screwing into the wall, whether it be a picture or something like a shelf or something like that, and this really tightens it to the sheetrock. It works very well. Well, I found that when you're doing Euro mounts, you can also use these because they go inside the hole of the brain cavity, and when they get in there, they open up just like the sheetrock, and then you pull them tight to whatever you're mounting them on, and it works like whether you're doing a wall mount or a plaque mount. They work very well, because what I did for this post and what I've done for plaques is you drill a hole for the size of this, and then you take a bigger drill bit in the back for this, and you drill it in a little bit so you can recess this in the back of your plaque or the back of your post. Was what I did here for our project we're working on right now. So it recessed it inside the post so you can't see it, which is very cool. And it also brings it out farther on the other side of the post, so it goes inside the brain cavity better. And when this opens up, you just screw it in from the back, and it tightens that skull right to the post. I mean, it like tightens it really nice, and it works really perfect. Okay, now I think we got a little bit better lighting than I did in the last segment when I was down here and I was explaining the sheetrock screws. So tonight, this one, we're going to be focusing right here on this. This is 3M high strength 9D contact adhesive. Okay, so I got this at the hardware store. This was probably one of the most expensive things I bought for this project. But this stuff is great for putting like the dirt on there. It adheres the dirt, it adhered the moss, it adhered the snow, it adhered everything, and it sticks very, very, very well because it's very, very strong. I actually used it on one of the soles of my hunting boots. It's still holding up, by the way.
Covering it. Broke my rod.
All right, I done made a boo-boo. When I was putting the moss, gluing the moss and the leave on, I thought the video was recording, but it wasn't. So I done screwed up. So you're gonna kind of see after the fact that I put the 90, the high adhesive contact on there, and I put the moss and the leave on there. You can see I was pulling on it just to show you that it's really on there good, that adhesive. But I really can't make a how-to video if we ain't recording the how-to. So I done messed up a little bit. Don't punish me for it. I done messed up. Yippers, done messed up. What I used for snow that I got at the dollar store. Actually, you know what? Let's back up here. You're going to see this snow that I got. That buffalo snow. I found that at Walmart. Don't buy it. You see it? I think it's only seasonal anyway for Christmas. All it is ripped up trash bags. I was so mad. I'll show you in here. I put it in on my thing to see how it would look. Immediately mad. But since I put this on there and it's very strong, this stuff started sticking like I couldn't get it off. It was sticking in my fingers and I was getting angry. And never again. Nope, won't use that stuff. I like to try different things out. But this, I got at the dollar store. $1.25. It's called Sand Decorative Accents. So you can see this. It's $1.25 Sand Decorative Accents. It is almost like sugar, right? You can see this. So what I did, I guess anybody knows that when you're out, like maybe even bird hunting or whatever, you're out deer hunting in the wintertime and you're walking through like an old, barbed wire fence, sometimes the snow looks like granules. I don't know if it's deep wintertime or whatever. It's frozen. It looks like granules, almost, like sugar granules. I don't know, like frozen snow, ice, whatever it is. But that's what I think of when I'm walking past an old fence post or climbing through a barbed wire fence. I see that around the fence post. So that's what, I saw this at the dollar store and, I was like, oh my God, this might work. And then when I started putting it on, it really came to life. It really brought the whole snow scene together along with my brush, my snow branches, whatever you want to call them. But this stuff, yeah, dollar store. I'm telling you, this project's going to cost me maybe $30-40 tops.
Next up, we gotta drill the hole for our LED lights. I'm gonna put a drill bit through there so you can see the hole, how it goes all the way through the post. Look closely. Now you got your LED lights coming right through, right next to where our skull is going to connect to our screw to mount it on the post, so we can get those LEDs in the back of the skull cavity. Down below is where we're going to mount our box for our LEDs, our battery box. We're going to drill a hole right in the middle of this battery box so we can put a screw in it and screw it right to the post, because the tape on there is not very good. You can see we got the batteries in there, we got the LEDs on, they work. That's a good thing. Now we're going to take the staple gun and we're going to staple the LEDs up the back of the post, so when it's against the wall you can't see them, and the only thing you can see is the light illuminating against the wall. That's the goal for that. And then the other goal is to be able to get those LEDs up in the back of the skull of the mount we're putting on there, so the inside of the skull illuminates as well. You can see we got that screw mounted in that battery box, and we got our staples in the back. Now we gotta move on to putting that skull on there. Okay, so mostly these LED strips have a spot where you can cut them. You see that dotted line right there? That's where that's your cut line. If you have too long of a strip and you want to cut it down, you cut them down on that dotted line. Not the other areas, just, you know, on that dotted line. That's your cut line, so you can shorten up your LEDs without breaking the circuit there, so they still work.
Garbage.
See, I cut off a whole bunch of excess there because I didn't need it. There's our skull. And right in the back of the skull cavity there, that's where we're going to mount our LEDs, and we're just going to shove them on in there. Not really hard. They're just going to sit on the inside of there. There's no tape, no nothing, because once they're mounted on the skull, they're just going to sit in there and hang out and make your skull look beautiful.
This thing here, fold it up.
You can see the skull's already illuminating.
That skull right there, just like that.
See how I pinch those little clips together? You pinch those clips together, and you push them inside. And when they get inside that skull, they're going to open up. And when they open up, then you take your drill and you screw from behind, and it's going to pull that skull right to the post and tighten it really nice, so it sits right on there.
Is your end result.
See that? That's a beautiful thing right there. Look at that. That skull's illuminating. We got our LEDs strapped to the back of that pole, and they're inside the brain cavity. And you can see my screw is recessed right there for my skull mount there. And our LED lights are illuminating our skull.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I did pretty well explaining how to build it, and it didn't cost very much money, just a little bit of your time. I mean, so not really that hard to build, and I hope I help somebody else out. Maybe somebody else that can build themselves a nice mount like this. I gotta poop.